అవును.
So it's nice.
అది.
సో అంటే ఈ పిహెచ్డి ఫేజ్ మొత్తం అంటే ఒక్కొక్కసారి మనకి వీసా స్టేటస్ వల్ల కానీ మామూలుగా ఇంటర్నేషనల్స్ కి కొంచెం ఎక్స్‌ప్లాయిటేషన్ ఉంటది కదా ప్రొఫెసర్స్, అట్లా ఎప్పుడు నీకు అవ్వలేదు?
My professor was a Desi.
ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేదు.
PhD professor was a Desi ఆయన.
Okay.
So he was okay. ఆయన ఒరియా ఆయన. He was a good guy. I liked him. Very his strength was marketing. Research, science, even know the impact of whatever little you do,
Yeah.
how well you can explain it.
Yeah.
Appudu I've seen that with him. You know, he was extremely good with how he's able to market the little things he's done and able to attract funds, right? That is
that is very important కదా అసలు.
Yeah, మనము స్కూల్లో ఉన్నప్పుడుని టెక్నికల్ గా రోల్స్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు we always say అరే అది చాలా చిన్నదిరా అనుకుంటాం, కానీ then afterwards we start to realize, you know, how do you capture the market for it, right? That is also an extremely important skill that many of us, you know, still struggle to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. Selling point, sell ela cheyali mana.
How do you get story around? Absolutely.
So that's what you learned from him, like how.
Yes, correct. We used to ridicule him as well. I remember the first year, second year. We used to, you know, when he was presenting to the investors or when people used to come from industries, when he used to pitch in and everything else, we were like, it's a simple mass transfer, simple heat transfer. What is he talking about, right? We were all thinking about that. But now, you know, being in the industry and everything else, I can very well appreciate what he was presenting. You know, how he was breaking it down in very, very simple layman words and then bringing the value for them. చాలా బాగుంది. That's something that I can reflect back on his strengths. బాగా అయింది. I mean, several of my friends in the lab, some of the people had issues and everything else. I never had any issues with the professor. It went well. I graduated fairly quick out of there. Like I said, right, I was already married by that time. So I had the pressure and everything else. I was looking very desperately for the jobs. Yeah, and so jobs, anything in the career, right? There is always hard work, right? And then there is always the timing piece that is extremely important for you, right? The timing piece entanante nenu na job vachesi 2008 lo I got my first job at Savic.
Okay. 2008 కి అయిపోయింది నీ పిహెచ్డి అయితే.
2007 December ki I had 2008 June ki I had my first offer and everything else. It's all done. I did not finish my PhD when I got the job offer.
Okay.
Because you know, same thing, right? We don't know when you're done. Manaki visa issues anni untai kada. I got my job offer. Job offer వచ్చేసిన తర్వాత I have to come back and do my PhD. So my first 6 months I was doing both.
Job join ayi back వచ్చి just ఇంకా last finish up చేసి.
I have to write my thesis and everything during my course of the work, basically. ఒక 6 months అంతా వర్క్ చేసుకుంటూ ఈవినింగ్ అది కూర్చొని థీసిస్ 6 months తర్వాత డిఫెండ్ చేశాను. సో ద కండిషన్, ద జాబ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా నేను వాళ్ళకి ఏం చెప్పానంటే, ఐ డిడ్ నాట్ ఫినిష్ మై పిహెచ్డి. I'm going to request you to please give me the job in CPT.
CPT lo immana.
So it's all yeah, it's very important to communicate your needs very well to the company. And పెద్ద corporations లో తక్కువ flexibility ఉంటుంది. So again, it's all about, you know, the hiring manager was a Desi guy.
Okay.
So that helped to, you know, they quickly understand what your needs are.
Yeah.
Put the same thing for an American or somebody else, it might be a little bit difficult. They may not accept, you know, this like, you finish your PhD and come, man, what the hell are you doing? They'll not get it. It's very difficult.
And also company policies kuda okasari vallu inka change
they'll know how to manage them, right? If somebody atlaga adi help in the back.
ఎలా జాబ్ ఎలా నీకు నువ్వే అంటే జస్ట్ ఆన్లైన్ అట్లా చూసుకొని అప్లై చేసుకోవడం, అక్కడ ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారా?
లేదు, జాబ్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఐ అప్లైడ్ ఇట్. ఉన్నారు కాంటాక్ట్స్, కానీ కాంటాక్ట్స్ డిడ్ నాట్ వర్క్ అవుట్. ఐ వాస్ ఆస్క్డ్ వర్క్ అవుట్. I ended up in GE Plastics లో హైర్ చేశారు. By the time I joined, it became Savic. got sold to
Sabic. Okay, నీ ఫస్ట్ జాబ్ సాబిక్ లో జాయిన్ అయ్యా.
Sabic.
న్యూయార్క్ లోనా వేరే దగ్గర కాదు ఉన్నావు 6 months ఇక్కడే.
ఎక్కడ?
ఎక్కడ జాయిన్ అయ్యావు? ఇక్కడ
Oh,
క్లాస్
so
నుంచి.
my professional life started in a place called Ottawa, Illinois. So it is that was
ఇలినాయ్ లో. ఓకే.
Illinois లో స్టార్ట్ చేశాను నా ప్రొఫెషనల్ లైఫ్ అక్కడ సాబిక్ లో. సో 6 months వాళ్ళు they accommodated everything for me from a job standpoint and everything else. And వాళ్ళ కండిషన్ కూడా within 6 months I have to finish my PhD.
Finish your PhD. Okay.
Criteria. I have to get my degree. Correct. That was the criteria. So I used to stay back to work and finish up my PhD, write my papers, whatever, right? అవన్నీ బానే జరిగింది. I had a lot of support and everything else. బానే.
Parallel గా మేనేజ్ చేసి ఫినిష్ చేయాలి కదా వాళ్ళు చెప్పిన.
Exactly. Professor also was very supportive for me to get a job because when he started his group in the US, we were like kind of his first PhD students. He's also very
కొత్త
graduate. Very important for him, right? For his professor కూడా important కదా అది tenure పరంగానే. So he was also very keen on helping us out. It worked out well that way. His only condition was you have to finish up papers to get your if you finish your papers, its thesis comes automatically and it becomes very easy for you.
Yeah.
That's all he was saying, right? It made a lot of sense. బానే అయింది చేశాను. తర్వాత 6 months తర్వాత I came back again to Clarkson with that PhD బానే అయింది. It was all so Sabic lo where the job really helped out was I did something in the processing side on the polymerization processing side of things. And the specific polymer I worked on was butyl acrylate. So Sabic has the N-butyl acrylate as one of their monomers.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of helped me in terms of, so they were really impressed with what I did. I did some, backbone, backbiting, whatever studies I did on that. And that is kind of the chemist in the Sabic. He was very, very hooked up with my resume and everything else.
Okay.
He was very supportive. Yeah, at work, మామూలుగా job professional ga, when I presented myself, when I gave my talk and everything else, he was really, really liked my profile and he was very supportive.
Okay, the chemist there, already the person. Okay.
That helped me out so much.
That helped you in the interview process.
Yeah.
So interview process and long process untada, just quick
typical
process?
right, typical our technical roles, right? It's the whole day you give a presentation for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Then you have one-on-ones, right? With
for a whole day, right? Whole day interview process. And then
correct.
So they వాళ్ళే స్పాన్సర్ చేశారు కదా నీకు each one time.
Yeah. Correct.
అక్కడ నుంచి ఇంకా అంతే
Yeah. Sabic though, my first job over there, so my role was hired into a licensing engineer.
Oh.
A licensing engineer is basically you're a technical representative. They've sold technology how to make their product for a different company.
Okay.
Support the technology transfer. So it's very
ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ రోల్ యాక్చువల్లీ అది తొందరగా ఇవ్వరు నీకు బానే అంటే లైసెన్సింగ్ టెక్నాలజీ సెల్లింగ్ రోల్ కదా అది.
They give it for very senior people.
Senior people, yeah.
Usually they give it very senior people. So it's kind of interesting how they got me into that role. I don't know, because I remember talking with a lot of when I was being hired, I remember talking to a lot of design engineers, process engineers. They were all interviewing me. Even retired people were interviewing me, and I did not get the hang out of it.
Yeah.
Why are it's very interesting. They're talking about the group belongs in the R&D organization. They were not talking about product or anything else, right? And the process మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. But వీళ్ళు హైర్ చేసుకునే వాళ్ళు వీళ్ళందరూ different people, చాలా unique గా ఉన్నాయి మాట వాళ్ళ ప్రొఫైల్స్ అన్ని. But they gave me that role. It's interesting. It's a good project. Worked on that for Sabic for 3.5-4 years. చేసిన వర్క్ అది. It was a very good project. We helped build a couple of plants. One plant was in China, one plant was in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
I was in China for a month and a half deploying.
Oh, so startup. You went to China? Okay.
Yeah, plant startup. I was part of the plant startup team.
Okay.
It's quite extensive because you have to replicate the exact plant that you have in the US in China. Everything from a technical standpoint, you have to approve it. Yeah. What process, what equipment, material of construction, right? Everything, heat transfer, mass transfer, heat balance, mass balance for the whole plant has to be exactly the same for that new plant. right? What goes on behind. So you work with an engineering firm, right? At that time it was Shaw Group from Canada, who was very good in polymers. It doesn't exist anymore. So you work with the engineering firm, and you are the licensor that is approving all those things for the license. Why in the project? It was 4 years, and then so that is one part. The second part of the project I was doing was work with process improvements at the plant.
Okay.
So my role was actually in a manufacturing environment, completely manufacturing plant lo మాట. అక్కడ R&D వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ప్రాసెస్ ఇంజనీర్స్. There is no product, for example.
Product ఏదైనా manufacturing plant లో ఇంకా అంతే R&D లో అయినా manufacturing oriented ISC background ఉండాలి.
Correct. Because usually R&D organizations in the plastic world, you know, right? They're very product specific. There's an application the customer needs, right? You develop a product, address the customer. Hey, in the tensile property kavali, in the mechanical performance kavali, in the melt viscosity, whatever. You develop a product for them, you give them, right? Usually ala untayi R&D lo heavy ga. Process side చాలా తక్కువ small team ఉంటుంది మాట. As part of that very very small team at SABIC. చాలా మంచి గ్రూప్ అది. I've done some nice projects there for the plant. Some
nice
projects and everything else.
Real hands-on experience వచ్చింది.
Hands-on experience that you
it's not like just like open-ended R&D kind of a discovery kind of a role, right?
Yeah. The lab was far away, and you are doing your experiments in the plant. Your design of experiments were all at the plant itself, your variables and everything else. So it taught me a lot, and because they were coming from GE Plastics, a very strong Six Sigma methodology. It అన్ని అప్పుడు గ్రీన్ బెల్ట్ వాటికి కూడా హెల్ప్ అయింది. Everything else, you kind of understand their science a little bit, what how they do and everything else.
So ఎవరైనా mentors అట్లాగా ఉన్నారా మనోహర్ నీకు కెరియర్ లో, లేకపోతే just
No, work lo ఉంటారు. You'll always tag with couple of people to kind of learn these things, and బానే అయిందంటారు. What I kind of so towards the end of 4 years at SABIC, you have a PhD, you're working in the plant, improving projects and everything else. And then at our time I was asking for my green card. The next thing is immigration for us, right? Immigration Evendra Babu adigite vallemo, they were very sloppy in the response for my green card. They were not like, hey, EB1 you're not sure, EB2 maybe okay, you don't have as many publications, you know, right? All those things.
All those things.
So I did not have a whole lot of publications. I have like 2 or 3 overall.
ఎందుకంటే నువ్వు ఇంకా మళ్ళీ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ లో మొత్తం హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ వెళ్ళిపోయావు కదా.
హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ వెళ్ళిపోయాను. ప్రాసెస్ సైడ్ కొంచెం తక్కువ ఉంటాయి, ప్యాటెంట్స్ యూజువల్గా తక్కువ, కొంచెం స్కోప్ తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. సో స్ట్రాంగ్ గా లేదు, ఇవన్నీ పుష్ బ్యాక్ చేస్తాను అనమాట. సో దెన్ ఐమ్ లైక్, ఓకే, గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ ఇస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ us. Next course of action. So then the opportunity in Celanese came up.
Okay.
It is a lab role. You do a process development in the lab.
R&D environment.
R&D environment.
In the manufacturing environment. Okay.
Immediately I was like, okay, this seems to be a good opportunity wherein I can maybe publish some more patents that will help me for my green card annattu. Appudu then I started to laying my stones for my immigration, basically.
Okay.
That's how I started my move into Celanese.
సో అంటే రోల్ నువ్వు చూసుకుంటున్నావా, జస్ట్ ఇంకా ప్యారలల్ గా వాళ్ళే అలా అప్రోచ్?
No, so SABIC lo, remember I was talking about licensing and all, right? My travel was getting heavy. Once in a month, every 1 week I was going for travel. I was going.
Okay.
1 week I was in Canada. Every 1 week I was going, and sometime I went to China as well for 1 month. The travel was getting heavy, and I think that's when I had my first one was born. The little kid, right? Very young kid. So it was very getting at a family lo koncham intlo manaki kashtam kada, pillalu help
వచ్చినప్పుడు travel అంటే
husband have to contribute. So that became balancing act tough avutundi appudu. So that was also, so green card is not going well, family pillalu vastunaru, so there is more pillalu raakamundu I used to stay in the plant for a long time, night to 9 or 10 daaka undevanu plant.
even after hours. అప్పుడు దీప్తి ఇంకా మాస్టర్స్ అయిపోయింది నీతో పాటు.
She came to Illinois as well with me.
Okay.
And she was looking for jobs, it did not work. Same struggles, right?
అప్పుడు ఈఏడి కూడా ఉండదు కదా, డిపెండెంట్ వీసాలోనే ఉండాలి కదా.
9 I was talking about the timing, right? Timing అంటున్నాం కదా. 2008 ఏప్రిల్ నాకు జాబ్ వచ్చింది. 9 was a recession time frame.
ఓకే, రెసిషన్ వచ్చింది 9 లో. అవును,
a lot of people who were graduating had to struggle for a longer time, Mandu was,
నేను కూడా గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ అవ్వకుండా 2010 వరకు పుష్ చేసుకున్నాను నేను.
so right, that phase was a little challenging.
Challenging phase.
That is అందుకే టైమింగ్, అందుకే sometimes it's all about timing. If I missed that timing of that getting into the job market, I would have been delayed as well. Absolutely.
Absolutely. లక్కీగా ఒక పర్సన్ కి వర్క్ అయింది. అట్లీస్ట్ ఫ్యామిలీ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇద్దరు కంటే చాలా కష్టం అయిపోయింది.
కరెక్ట్. కొంచెం స్ట్రగుల్ అయ్యేవాళ్ళం. అవును. Sometimes those are all there, and if you have to take it as it comes. అంతే.
టఫ్ గా చాయిసెస్ కదా.
అవును. So all of that made me to somebody approach me, headhunter avada Celanese approach చేస్తే వాళ్ళు బానే ఉంది, okay let me go talk అని చెప్పి then I took up this option at Celanese.
Nice. So ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ అంతా ప్రాసెస్ చేస్తామన్నారు కదా.
Celanese is very pro immigrant thing, right? They're very ahead of the curve in terms of their immigration support for international people and everything else. బానే చేస్తారు ఇక్కడ కంపెనీ పరంగాని, they know. So that helped me out a little bit. So same thing, like I was saying, right? It helped me for I got a few patents here, 3 or 4 patents within the of 2-3 years lo vachesni fast gaane, parvaledu. That helped me immediate ga. Lawyer ni adganu, a lawyer said, okay, you're good now, let's go for your EB1. That helped me out.
ఒకసారి అది ఫాస్ట్ గా అయిపోతుంది.
Career Celanese career వచ్చేసి it was an R&D job in the process side of things, where you're developing a brand new process in the lab, validating it, you're ready to lab scale నుంచి pilot scale తీసుకెళ్ళాలి, తర్వాత plant scale. But like anything, right, chemical processes are very capital intensive. When we came up with this process and everything else, the capital was very high, and after like 3 years or 3.5 years of slogging and all of those things, it did not go anywhere. Basically, the company was not, the leadership was not supportive of investing that capital, right?
అదే ఇంకా R&D phase లో కొన్ని పోతాయి, పైలట్ స్కేల్ లో కొన్ని దాకా వస్తాయి, క్యాపిటల్ వెళ్ళడానికి అన్ని అవ్వవు కదా.
Tough. Correct. So it did not work out that way. So then I switched myself into a different role, which is what I am right now. It's basically supporting I moved from R&D into manufacturing organization.
Within the Celanese.
Within Celanese, yeah. So ever since 2015, 2012 to 2015, I was in R&D. 2015 లో I switched into the manufacturing organization. And then అప్పటి నుంచి మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ లో కూడా సేమ్ అట్లాగే ఉంటుంది, సిమిలర్ రోల్. ఐఎమ్ బేసికలీ it's called a core technology group. You're basically gatekeeping manufacturing plants from R&D. So R&D నుంచి ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ వచ్చినప్పుడు you are the gate. You question them, you validate the products, are ready, are they mature enough to go into production? If they're not ready, you push it back. You challenge the teams, or if manufacturing has any issues, you bring it back to the technical team. You act as a liaison
between both manufacturing and R&D.
Folks.
Okay.
That's kind of what I've throughout the careers, right? So when a point came at Celanese where for R&D the అక్కడ ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎండ్ అయిపోయింది. ఎండ్ అయిపోయినప్పుడు my next choices were either go out and look for a job in a different R&D and whatever it is. The second thing was my Celanese లోనే ఇంకొక R&D ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో వర్జీనియాలో ఒక ఇచ్చారు, అక్కడ రమ్మన్నారు, ఇంటర్వ్యూ చేశారు. They said we'll take you there in Virginia. Very remote place from Cincinnati. Family tough now. The third option was this one, in manufacturing role in Cincinnati itself, role ఇచ్చారు అన్నమాట. So I had the choices there basically. What do I do అనేది basically decision making అన్నమాట. Then I have to think back about what am I strong at, what do I like, right? Then for me, I'm always very close to the process. I always I worked at Sabic. I enjoyed working in the manufacturing environment. Solving problem and seeing them working coming up with something, right? And also seeing the projects getting closed lot better.
Close to the like
R&D,
bringing them onto the reality. Okay.
right. R&D projects are very interesting, right? You have your problem that you own and everything else. But what I felt was the R&D to commercial is a very far stretch.
Fast stretch, yeah.
There is, and
It's only 1% will go to commercial, right? If you start
Correct.
with the 90%, then they just
Correct.
filtered out in the end, right? Yeah.
I always felt I was blindsided by the commercial side లో నాకు ఫుల్ వ్యూ లేదు అనిపించింది నాకు. I felt in manufacturing అంటే ఇప్పుడు నాకున్న దాంట్లో లో ఈ రోల్ అయితే నాకు కమర్షియల్ వ్యూ బెటర్ గా ఉందని చెప్పి I went into this role basically.
Okay. Is that a tough choice that you have to make? Like it's a little better.
Yeah, it was a tough choice because the tough choice ఏంటంటే when you put all your baggage, your ego baggage that you have a PhD or all those things, it becomes right. Why do you want to work? Because a lot of people will question.
Yeah,
but
you don't need a PhD, right? In a manufacturing world, undergrads mostly masters is enough,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah. So there is that because I had a lot of friends within the company who were discouraging me, man, you have a PhD, you have so and so and everything else. Why the hell do you want to get into manufacturing, right? I had that thing as well. So I put all of that aside, right? I put all of that aside. Let me just, what am I doing? I need to solve problems. I need to create value, right? At the end of the day, able to present myself that, that I'm able to do these things. And at the end of the day, I need people who can listen to what I'm saying, అవన్నీ కన్విన్స్ చేసుకుని స్టోరీ అంతా కూడా వాట్ ఐ కంఫర్టబుల్ విత్ అని పెట్టుకుని దెన్ ఐ వెంట్ టు దిస్ రోల్.
And also you need to enjoy too, right? What you are doing at the end of the day. I think you enjoy more like hands-on with the people. Manufacturing has lot of people, right? People skills are the key for manufacturing, right?
Very key.
Not the technical, but then execution and the people skills. Maybe you have those strong skills already, right? If I see throughout.
Yeah. And you kind of form your own brand and the niche within the company. It doesn't matter what you are doing.
Where you are, right? Yeah.
Even in R&D, even in manufacturing, even in commercial, you have to create your own impact. What is your brand, right? You have to create that one anywhere you go for.
Yeah.
That is extremely important. Nobody choosuntav kada adi. Very, very, very important.
Very important. It doesn't matter, right? Chemist can have to be a chemical engineer, material science. ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం అంతా డిసిప్లిన్స్ అన్ని interdisciplinary అయిపోయినాయి కదా.
Correct.
So manufacturing actually environment is a tough environment, right? కొంచెం rough గా ఉంటది. So you need to have a lot of people skills actually to survive there.
Yeah, I mean, you get to that, right? I mean, fortunately, same thing, right? Like you were saying, I have a good mentor. My manager itself, right, is a very good mentor. So anywhere, right, in the work environment, the important thing is you create trust with the team. So up and down, right? Up and down. Once you create that trust, the pace at which the projects progress is very fast.
Correct.
Once the trust is not there, it is very slow, it is very sloppy because you're giving a lot of room for assumptions.
Correct.
What did he really ask? Does he want that? Does he want that? This? Or will it be sufficient? Not sufficient? A lot of unknowns, right? So all of those things will be brushed away. And try to understand how the corporation works, right? Corporation law, at the end of the day, who are the decision makers? Understanding how projects are driven. Right? How the KPIs are written down. What are manufacturing KPIs? What are R&D KPIs? How do you manage those two and satisfy both the leaders? So understanding all of those things that is when it helps you to navigate through it successfully.
Yeah. So the people skills బాగా యూజ్ అయినాయి అనుకుంటా. You need to adapt to different people styles of leadership కూడా కదా.
Correct.
ఒకళ్ళు డైరెక్ట్ ఉంటారు, ఒకళ్ళు నాన్ డైరెక్ట్ ఉంటారు. సో యూ నీడ్ టు బి అడాప్టివ్ అండ్ బ్రింగ్ ఎవ్రీబడి ఆన్ టు సేమ్ పేజ్ కదా.
అవును.
సో ఏమైనా డైవర్సిటీ ఎలా ఉంటది మనోహర్? ఎక్కువ ఉండిందా లేకపోతే ఓన్లీ ఇట్స్ లైక్ మేల్ డామినేటెడ్ వరల్డ్ కదా మోస్ట్లీ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్?
Our CEO Is Celanese CEO, current CEO is Laurie Ryerker. He came from ExxonMobil. She's a woman, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we have a lot of activities surrounding how we can empower women at work, right? Even in manufacturing environment, right? Whoever is willing to come there, we support them a lot, right? We have programs, coaching programs, and how do you inculcate them, engage them better, bring them on board. All those things are there. We designed that.
ఇప్పుడు బాగా కొంచెం అట్లీస్ట్ ఎంకరేజ్.
Absolutely. That's very important from a diversity of thought process and everything, right? It is extremely important.
Innovation, productivity kuda we know, right? Diversity increases all those
increases
things.
Correct.
కానీ వెరీ ఫ్యూ ఉంటారు కదా ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుతానికి, అంటే కొంచెం ఇప్పుడు చేంజ్ అవుతుంది అవుతున్నారు కానీ
అంటే if you look at the overall numbers చూసుకుంటే తక్కువ ఉంటారు కానీ తక్కువ మాకు మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ఫ్లోర్ మీద హ్యాండ్స్ ఆన్ ఫ్లోర్ మీద కొంచెం విమెన్ తక్కువే ఉంటారు బికాజ్ ఇట్ ఇస్
మోర్ లైక్ ట్రెడిషనల్లీ మేల్ డామినేటెడ్.
కరెక్ట్. Physically demanding, but the women operators who run the lines and everything, they are much stronger than me. But but we have quite a mix, I would say. Maybe 30% 30-40% females. Manufacturing. R&Dలో ఇంకా ఎక్కువ ఉంటారు. R&Dలో we have probably close to 40% ఉంటారు. బాగానే ఉంటారు.
ఉన్నారైతే బాగానే.
సైడ్, ల్యాబ్ సైడ్ వాళ్ళందరూ బాగుంటారు. ఆర్టీ సైడ్.